master vocalist, singer extraordinaire, anomaly are some of the names that are used to define Mike Hammond. A native New Yorker, born and raised in Hollis, the heart and soul of Jamaica Queens, was introduced to music from a very young age, from his father being an R&B Doo Woper to his aunt placing him in a Tiny Tot choir at the age of 3, where he quickly became the lead. He got his feet wet in the industry at the age of 10 when he entered into a studio to take part of an album called Streetwise, which was released on his 11th birthday. From there, Mike has recorded with artists such as Incognito and 50 Cent and have worked with and shared the stage with the likes of Josh Groban, Elton John, Billy Joel, Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, and Gladys Knight, just to name a few. Also traveled the world performing for presidents of other countries as well as the royal family of Morocco. He has also performed as supporting vocals on TV's America's Got Talent Season 9, PBS concert specials, and a host of other TV syndicated programs. Currently, Mike is hard at work preparing for the release of his new untitled project that consists of R&B, contemporary jazz, and hip-hop flavor. Upward and Onward presents our Meeting at the Crossroads Music Series. Mike Hammond, my boy, my brother. How are you? Welcome to Upward and Onward Productions Presents our Meeting at the Crossroads Music Series. We have one of my closest friends, Mike Hammond, here with me to interview and clown around with and try to find out some of his innermost secrets and demons that he's hiding. We hopefully
hell no.
No, I'm just playing. No, we just trying to get into his world and see what he's been up to since the pandemic and maybe before that and maybe what's coming up. I mean, we really don't know what tomorrow brings, but we know what we're trying to make happen. You drinking anything?
I am. I'm drinking a strong ass drink out of me. Oh, wait, is this a PG show? Wait.
No, it's not PG, but it
Okay,
is. I have to. Yeah, we let's say PG-13.
How about a rated R? Can we get a rated R?
No, because I got to see the script first.
Damn.
Well, cheers to you, brother. Cheers to you.
So wait, PG-13 mean only a little bit of cursing, a little bit of vulgarity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers.
Yeah. All right. Cheers. As men, we've been friends a lot of our adult life. What was it? I guess 19 years ago. Almost 20.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, 19 years ago. We met in the production of Smokey Joe's Cafe with the legendary diva herself, Gladys Knight. Yeah, we did that for about a year or so, on and off.
That's on and off. Yeah.
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 That was the start of our journey, laughing and cussing each other out and getting each other out of trouble.
And timeouts and all that other stuff. Yeah.
Timeouts got to come with you. Got to.
No.
Got to. But just speaking about, I mean, obviously I know a lot about you, but just so that people get a chance to know a little bit about you, or a lot of it if we ever to get some of it out of you. I know sometimes you're open and shut book all at the same time. But where are you originally from?
I'm originally from, I can't even talk now, too much drink. I'm originally from Hollis, Queens.
Mm.
Yeah. Hollis, Queens, born and raised. Yeah. Grew up in that.
Did you know any of those people as a child? Like, I know you were a kid when some of these people were like, I don't know, moving and grooving.
Yeah. I grew up with Jam Master Jay. Jam Master Jay I lived on one side of 203 and he lived on the other side of 203.
Okay.
So we grew up knowing each other. Running DMC, they were all in Hollis. DMC lived the avenue over, but down a little bit. I don't remember Joe being in Hollis much, but Russell lived in Hollis.
Okay.
LL Cool J lived in Farmers, which was a neighboring town of Hollis.
Okay.
Who else? A lot of jazz musicians.
Yeah.
You know, Tom Brown was from my area. Musicians like Omar Hakeem,
Yeah.
drummer.
Yeah.
He's from Hollis. There's so many. I could go on.
The list could go on. Yeah. Well, so I'll take that back. Not just a heavy hip hop scene; it's a heavy music scene. Period.
Yeah, it was just musicians were everywhere. I mean, you could go, like in the summertime, bands would jam in the park. And me being little, I always wanted to jam with the teenagers. I didn't want to hang with the kids. They didn't interest me.
Now, did you start off performing and singing as a kid, or did it come later?
As a kid, at 3.
At 3, okay.
I started singing at 3. It's funny because I sang in church, and right after church, my aunt took me to her house and taught me the Jackson 5 song. So
really?
I had that split of R&B gospel thing, and sometimes I knew I wanted to be an R&B singer. Sometimes I would slip up and sing "Baby" in church, you know, because I knew where I was going.
I did that too. I got kicked out of that choir.
Yeah, they didn't kick me out. They just kept trying to correct me, but it just didn't work.
It didn't work. You like baby Jesus.
They stopped calling that song.
They said we're gonna call something else, something that's lyric heavy. So and you pretty much kept that same range because you still sing up there in the soprano rafters.
Yeah, I think I learned how to breathe it differently at an early age.
Okay.
You know, because once your voice starts changing, you know, where it comes naturally, you have to train it so it's more of a head voice, but then you have to stretch your range so that the head and the actual chest can actually meet and you don't see the break. You don't hear the break in your voice.
Almost like a strong mix.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong mix.
Yeah.
So it's something that you work at.
Now, were you knowledgeable of that technique at that time, or were you kind of just falling into certain grooves and then learned a little bit more about it later?
I was always one for listening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was younger, I would listen to certain singers and how they would sing and where it was coming from, because I realized that everybody wasn't singing from the same place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I was big on hearing that and trying to figure out where it came from, trying to emulate where it was coming from. And then I realized the different sides of my voice and where I needed to breathe from. So
okay,
that's it.
Hence the title Master Vocalist. I understand. I get you. So did you end up going to like a school of performing arts, or did you just go to like regular school but just kept up with the music?
I went to regular school through junior high school. My first year of high school, I was supposed to go to an Academy of the Arts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what they wanted me to do, I had my mother go with me the first day and transfer me out of that school because I didn't want to be away from home. I thought, I wasn't ready.
Okay. So with that, did you like end up being in like a singing groups, or just in the school choir, or just a church choir, or did you just kind of do your own thing? Because I know that you were almost signed at an early age.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, as far as our friendship is concerned and conversation.
Yeah. I was signed right out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
My last year of high school, I signed a deal. So, but in school, I was always in gospel chorus.
Okay.
Wherever there was gospel chorus. My first gospel chorus teacher in school was actually gospel artist Valerie Boyd.
Oh, really?
She was my first gospel chorus teacher. And I remember she used to always try to get me to lead I Love the Lord by Richard Smallwood.
I love the Lord.
Yeah. And I used to tell her, it's too slow. I need a fast song.
You was like, I'm falling asleep. Oh, man.
Because I knew who I was. I was like, I need fast songs. I need to keep it moving. I need to get it going. But she was like, I need you to sing this song.
So you had that managed demeanor even as a young kid. That's not something you grew into.
I did. I always had this control thing when it came to my creative. It was like I always, excuse me, I was always very headstrong in what I wanted to do and how it needed to be done.
Yeah.
And in school, like in high school, I ended up teaching gospel chorus.
Okay.
I was the dancer back then, so I ended up choreographing for the dance club. Yeah, I mean, I had control issues. I'm like, for real.
You said had?
Yeah, I had control issues.
What about, so not have?
You heard what I said. You heard what I said.
I said what?
I said what I said.
Oh man. So okay, you say you signed out of high school. Was there a specific label at that time? I'm not sure how it was going. Was it a management?
There was 3 labels.
Okay.
There was 3 labels. This is such a crazy story. It was 3 labels. One was First Priority, with MC Light's label.
Okay.
The second one was Epic. Epic came to me because Ed Lover from Yo MTV Raps, he was a security guard at my school.
Okay.
So he brought Epic to the table. And then there was Virgin. Virgin before Janet. I think they had a group called Damien Dane at the time. And I think they were about to sign Paula Abdul, or they just signed Paula Abdul. And those are the 3 that were on the table.
Okay.
And I ended up going with First Priority.
All right. And was this with a management team that you were with, or was it just you and like your mom or somebody?
No, it was just me. First Priority came to my school and heard me sing at, I want to say, one of the musicals. Because, you know, you do spring musical, winter musical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in school, it just seemed like I never got off stage because I was always in something. Even had a solo spot. I wouldn't perform unless I had a solo spot.
Here we go, this past tense again. That's still the same thing.
But listen, if you know where you're going, it's so funny because I would actually boycott until they gave me a solo spot. That was so hardball for me back in the day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you set your standards and people have to follow it after a while.
Yeah. Because I would have gladly sat out. But see, because you're teaching and you're choreographing stuff, you always put yourself in a prominent position that if you don't do it, it pretty much can't work without you. So
yeah, that's true. Very clever tactic. Yeah.
Cheers to that one.
Well, yeah, cheers to that one. Cheers to that one.
I was always that kid, but I was nice about it sometimes. I really was.
And so now, where did that record label situation take you? What were you doing after that? So you say you went with First Priority, and then what was the road? I went
with First Priority, and I stayed with First Priority for 5 years. Okay. And I recorded with a few producers, but it seemed like we never got the right sound until the end. Mm-hmm. And at the end, I walked away. I was done. I couldn't sit there no more. I couldn't sit anymore.
What was that right sound, or was that something that you found later on?
Well, it's just something that connected that you knew was it. Mm-hmm. And that producer came at the very end of my contract, and it was just at that. How can I say this and be politically correct? Okay. It was just a situation where it was a boutique company, and people were related and people were involved with other entities. And the way I got to work with this producer, because he was a big producer, somebody in the company was dating the daughter, and then when that didn't work out, it broke up and the relationship went bad. So when that happened, I was like, all right, I gotta go. Yeah, because I felt like I was sitting and nobody wanted to touch the music.
Okay. I got you.
I tell you what, there's one situation. I remember my manager. I had recorded this package while under this label, and he went to a major label because he was talking about moving me. And I'm not going to use no names, but he played the music for the record exec. Mm-hmm. And the record exec was grooving and said, Mike Hammond, right? Yep. Because you knew my voice already. You knew who I was.
Yeah.
Who's the producer? He said the producer. The record exec took the tape out, handed it back, and said, what else you got?
So it wasn't even a you thing. It was more so.
It wasn't even a me thing. And that's when I learned
that relationship or that follow through of that other person. Yeah.
It really is not about you. It's about relationships and connections. It doesn't matter what you do. Mm-hmm. It's about relationships and connections. And that's when it hit it for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Because at that point, people were on the radio and you were like,
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
What we know your voice to be live when you're doing covers and band gigs, concerts, or musicals or whatnot is completely different from the Mike Hammond experience as far as your recording and your music. Mm-hmm. Can you speak on why there is maybe a Gemini effect here where you're two different people? Or is that just, I don't know. I mean, I'll let you speak on it first before I get it. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Well, I thank you. It's about the mood for me. A lot of stuff that I write, the stories that I write and the melodies that I'm on, it doesn't call for the push or the aggressiveness of a song, so I pull it back a lot, as to, going live and singing somebody else's song where they may be aggressive, the audience sees something totally different. So I'm just hoping that they enjoy both and I can put both of them together and they'll just allow me that time.
I know I have, and I think, it was different for me and the experience that I had with you because I obviously met you doing a musical where we all had to sing a certain type of role. We could only bring but so little of ourselves into these roles.
And plus the sound guys suck, so we had to push a lot.
Exactly. And some people came to the production pushing before the sound guy even got.
Come on with the yelling.
We won't go there. With that being said,
you're gonna provoke me for real.
I mean, you had a lot of natural belters, and I don't know if that was a technique for them. It was just,
I can't call that natural.
I know it was naturally loud.
You know what it is? I think that people, like, it starts in the audition, right? And you're in an empty room, and for some reason in people's minds, they feel like, I want my voice to ring in this room so they'll hear me and stuff. But in all actuality, you're kind of really scaring the auditioners. So
into hiring
like,
you.
man,
Okay, that's fine. Yes, you can have the role.
yeah, because if anybody knows singers, you're not gonna do that 8 shows a week.
Yeah.
You're gonna be good for 5, and then you're gonna be out for 2.
Yeah.
If that.
And that was happening even on our tour.
Yeah.
I mean, all that to be said, you said you found the different nuances of how you want things to be perceived based on your recording, based on what maybe is being asked of you to do or whatnot. I was just, listening to that because out of us coming from Smokey Joe's doing that show, I then went into every now and then being able to do a few gigs with you, singing background for you. And I'm listening to music and I'm listening to you perform. I'm like, this ain't what he was sounding like the other day. See, because in Smokey's, I wasn't allowed to use my sexy. In my show, I could use my sexy. Oh, geez.
That's what I was doing. For real. I mean, I'm not Teddy Pendergrass. What the hell is that?
No, that's my lane. That's my lane.
That's you. That's you all day. That's my dude.
No, I get that. I get that. And what would you call the style of music that you do?
I think it's all under the umbrella of R&B, but it's moody. I think I'm very moody as a
person,
as an artist.
Oh, okay.
What'd you say?
I said person. No, I was just trying to make sure.
trying to poke the band. Trying to poke. Okay. Listen, sometimes depending on the right crowd. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I get you moody.
Because
I've been in my jazz, my Latin jazz phase.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, and I like it because it's taking me someplace else. I had just finished doing. I just finished doing some contemporary jazz stuff, and I was listening down to it, and I felt like it needed something else. So I just went into. I love Latin music. So I was like, I need to do some Latin jazz.
Now, something that people don't know about you, and I'm sure this has nothing to do with your love for this music, but I guess at the same time it could be or possible. Back in your family tree or whatnot, there's Latin on that end.
Yeah. My grandmother is full-blooded Mexican.
Okay. And this is on your father's or your mother's side?
That's my mom's side.
Okay.
Yes. I never met her. She died when my mom was young.
Okay.
So she named her kids Robert, Rosita, Yvonne, Loretta. Yeah.
So you really are Miguel. You're not Michael.
No, I'm
Miguel Hammond.
I think I'm gonna want this interview to be over soon.
So hold up. Let's go in a little bit about your recording, and I think this is going to be funny for myself as well as you and everybody else. First, let's talk about your mic. You just purchased a mic not too long ago. That is
hell yeah.
Same type of mic as who?
Michael Jackson. Stop playing.
What? Now, is that one of your greatest influences as a singer?
the first 2 songs I learned ever was a gospel song and I Want You Back by the Jackson 5.
And that's where it started.
That's where it started. That was it. I'm telling you, every Christmas, all through my adolescence, I had to get a Batman toy, a musical instrument, a Jackson 5 album. I don't care if I had it already. I needed a new one.
This has been played out, so I need another.
It played out. I had so many of the same records scratched, but I had a new one. I I was a player.
Wow. What other music influences would you say that you had?
Growing up, I remember being intrigued by Tina Turner.
Oh, okay.
I remember she used to come on TV and I used to just stop. My world would stop. Because she was just so exciting, you know? So I think I was into more of the showmanship back then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it was exciting, I saw it. You know what I'm saying? I remember the first time I saw LaBelle hit TV when they had those space costumes
the old
on.
nose. The old nose.
Yeah, See, I was about to follow you down in that rabbit hole. But it was exciting, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was exciting. I remember seeing Sylvester for the first time, and I was like, I was intrigued.
Yeah.
I had to go. He sang Dance Disco Heat, and I had to go out and get this record. I wore my mother out for her to go get this record because I had to have it in my collection. But when it was exciting, I was drawn to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, singers, actual sit down and sing singers, that hit me later on. Like if you caught me with the excitement, then I was a fan, and then I wanted to hear what you had.
Okay.
I was like, oh, that was a nice song. Like I didn't know Michael Jackson. I didn't know the Jackson 5 had slow songs for a long time. Because I would play
they had a Funkadelic album that I didn't hear until about 10 years ago for the first time. I was like, what? When was
for real? Because I used to skip over the slow songs on the album. I wanted to hear the fast stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just saw them dancing in my head.
You saw, he's like, I saw the whole show. The whole
exactly. They was just dancing in my head. I just saw it.
So you said you had a lot of vocal influences that you follow. So, you know, a lot of people do these things on Facebook or Instagram, these little games that people play or whatever like that. But I'll ask you, Fat Luther or Little Luther? Or Skinny Luther?
No, Fat Luther.
Fat Luther with chicken wings.
He had so much power behind his voice when he was heavier. The voice was so much rounded. You know what I'm saying? Like you could listen to like the first 3 albums. His voice was so on.
Yeah.
On. And then you could like hear, like I remember he got skinny during Give Me the Reason.
Uh-huh.
And I heard the difference. Still loved him, but I heard the difference because it was a lighter, it felt more popish than the other stuff.
Yeah.
But then he came back with the weight after that, and I was like, oh, he's back.
He's back, yeah.
Okay.
We thought you were falling off.
For real, I was like, he's back. Somebody must have told him.
So let me do a little series with you and just see what you think vocally, just to see where you are, because I mean, obviously that's not a right or wrong answer here. Jeffrey Osborne or Billy Ocean?
I love them both.
Yeah?
See, I'm not good at this game because I like people for certain things. It's not like, well, there are people that you can say and I'll be like, oh, the fuck is that? But, you know, I'm not going to, but you would have to guess those.
Yeah.
But I like Jeffrey Osborne because Jeffrey Osborne, his voice is just like from Love Ballad.
Yeah, On the Wings
to the
of
Woo
Love.
Song. I was like, On the Wings of Love, the Woo Woo song.
Billy Ocean sings up there. I didn't realize that until I got older. Because when you're younger, you sing these things effortlessly, whether they sound great or not, but you sing them because it's in your range, you do it. That's what the gig was, that's what the job was, the show, high school, college, whatever. But then you get older, you start actually thinking about things, which is what got Adam and Eve in trouble when they start thinking too much. But you start thinking, you're like, this is odd.
Yes. You know, people say the same thing about Barry White. Barry White is not that low.
He was a low speaker.
He was a low speaker, but he sang a second tenor.
Yeah, I was like, that stuff, I mean, singing like my first, my last, I was like, wait a minute.
But you know, everybody loved Billy Ocean for certain songs. There's one song that I play of Billy Ocean's, I could play it over and over and over because this song just kills it for me.
Which one?
Love Zone.
Love Zone.
In the love zone. You don't have to be. That's my song.
But see, that's also your style. And when
that's
you your recording style,
that's that flow.
I found some influences from Billy Ocean.
My whisper song is Love Thing.
Love Thing.
Love Thing. I always wanted to sing that song.
So the whispers of the OJs.
Both
again.
See, I'm not good at this game because I love people that know how to do it.
Yeah.
And they know how to do it. Never disappoint you. I mean, even like now, you go to a concert and they hit the stage, you be like this. They did it.
They did it, yeah.
It's different. Like when we were on the road doing Smokies with Gladys, I went to go see her at Atlantic City during one of the breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different when you're on stage with that person and you're working than being in the audience, watching them do their show.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I was in the audience screaming like a white girl because I was like, I enjoyed it because it was fun.
Do you remember after I hadn't done the show for, I'd say, almost 6 months, I actually had to jump in and do one of the characters that I was swinging. And in the middle of a number, we're doing There Goes My Baby. And we just jamming, and we doing the part, and I'm singing it, There Goes My Baby, but I'm looking back at y'all and I'm like, what's the next part? And you're like, I don't know. I'm doing everything I need to do. And I'm like, what's the next part? I don't know.
This was my favorite part of that show.
And then I sang, and then I look back at y'all and I said, what is it? And everybody looking at me like, y'all just laughing. I dipped down. I said, what's next? Y'all lifted me up. Like all this was happening. I said, I took my troubles down to me. And y'all were like, whoo-hoo-hoo. And then I dropped down into like a split or something.
No, you spun, split, came up.
Because I didn't know what to do next. I was like, where's it going?
And I had Bubba over my left shoulder. We were like,
and Gladys on the edge of the stage, she was just like, she said, so Brother James, huh? I said, yes, ma'am. And kept walking.
I don't know how I sang the rest of that segment because I was laughing so hard. I know I was singing and laughing that much. I was probably singing, Love Potion.
Audience is probably like, they don't really sing many lyrics here. It's just
because I couldn't get it together. I couldn't get it together. Just like that show when when they went to go put me on Neil's back. And it was
oh, you split your pants?
And they tore my pants wide open, and Bubba could not stop laughing. I was like, and then they had to drag me, and my skin kept sticking to the stage.
Oh Lord, this is awful. That's almost as bad as I used to smoke. So moving on.
Crying. I'm really crying.
So hold on, let's get back to this game. So okay, so I just got a few more. So you say you can't pick between those. What about Howard Hewitt or Peebo Bryson?
Shout out to the last national tour of Smokey Joe's Cafe in 2001 with Gladys Knight. That's it.
Yeah, we were the last ones, like the last real
national.
Because the choreography and the set and the costumes all went together. That was Joey McNeely's show, along with Louis St. Louis, and then everything after that was either a carbon copy or somebody's own. Thank you. You still crying?
I'm still crying. Oh gosh.
But was it my intonation?
Please stop.
So no, I got a few more. So Peebo Bryson or Howard Hewitt?
Okay, that one is Peebo.
Peebo, that one's Peebo. Okay, so
I've always loved Peebo.
Yeah.
His range is impeccable. I've seen him live. I love him.
Yeah. And what would be like one of your top 70s R&B groups? Because I had a conversation with a friend of mine, Tony, and he was like, man, I never, like, you know, because I'm a Motown boy, strong. You know that I love Motown. But I also love all these other old school R&B groups. I'm just old soul. But I was having a conversation with a friend of mine named Tony, and he was just like, he said, I never really got the hype on the Temptations like everybody else did. He said my groups were more like the OJs or the Whispers. And he said it was because of their choreography was a lot smoother and a lot playerish, as you would speak, you know, as an older person would be like, that's player. You know, he thought that was a little bit more intricate with a lot of those groups like the Stylists and the Manhattans and, you know, and so forth, Delphonics, all those groups. But out of some of those groups, Shy Lights, you know, we keep going with any of those, you know, different groups. What would be, I don't know, your top 5 groups back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, those groups?
Groups as in singing groups.
And the only reason I'm asking this because you not only have mastered that part of your voice where it mixes and goes high, but you know, you also have a heavy and strong falsetto, and a lot of those groups did. So that's why I'm asking this. Yeah.
Okay. So groups. Of course, I was a Jackson 5.
Yeah.
Spinners. I love the Spinners.
What was one of your favorite songs from the Spinners?
Oh, I got so many.
Okay.
My family song is, because there's one Spinner song that as soon as it's played, when we all together, we gotta get up and dance.
Okay.
No matter how mad we are with each other, we all gotta get up and dance. Mighty Love.
Okay.
Once there was a boy and a girl. That one, yeah.
Yeah. So we got
Could
Jackson 5
Falling in
Spinners.
Love is my other one.
Falling in Love is your other one?
Yeah.
So we got Jackson 5 Spinners. What would be the other 3?
I love the OJs.
Favorite song from the OJs?
Money. I love Money. And Backstabbers.
Yeah.
Even though my mother used to play that Forever Mine or around the house all the time.
Forever Mine. Yeah.
I like the Miracles. When
Oh,
Smokey
okay.
left.
Yeah.
Even though they like had one
You
song.
said when
that
he
I-
left. He was like, once he was gone? Yeah.
Yeah, because they turned into like that psychedelic song with Love Machine. Again, back then, everybody just brought it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they were so different. You know, nobody was alike. You know, I mean, like you even with the women, like you had a Dinah Ross, but then you had a Natalie Cole who was nothing like a Dinah Ross. You had Aretha Franklin who was nothing like either one of them, and then here comes Shaka Khan, who was nothing like them.
Yeah.
So it was such diversity, and they would just
And that actually carried over into the 80s.
at the 80s and the 90s, they
Yeah.
were still putting out records.
Yeah.
shoot, to have a career like that is just like amazing.
It doesn't happen now with the well, I mean, not to sound ancient, but the newer music. I know the 90s was strong for us, but that was probably the last decade.
That was the last of it.
That was the last of it. I went. I was actually in Atlanta. This was probably a few years ago. I went to go see Guy perform, and it just was not the same. It was not New Jack. It was Old Jack Whiskey performing.
I saw Teddy Riley's show at the Apollo, and he was basically celebrating the works that he's done.
Mm-hmm.
So he brought out Blackstreet, he brought out SWV, he brought out Guy, he brought out I'll Be Sure, he brought out Keith Sweat, and Dougie Fresh. And in between each act, because certain people weren't there, they were playing the music.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of listen and you like, this dude did his thing. It was very entertaining.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
It definitely comes from a time when he was shining. The New Jack era was strong, man. It hit hard for 10 years. It was like
because we really needed it at that time. Because it was like, where's music going? It wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah. How has the pandemic affected you with the music? All this joyful stuff that we've spoken about, with gigs and shows and concerts and everything like that, even recording. How were you affected during this pandemic?
Well, I'm a homebody anyway.
Yeah.
So I've created a comfortable space for myself that I can actually just do things at home. With the pandemic happening, producers have been hiring me to record and arrange backgrounds. So I've been making money. I've been kind of keeping busy. I mean, and with my own stuff. If you say what I think you're gonna say,
I'm not gonna say anything.
But yeah, I actually finished 2 separate projects.
Okay.
So
of yours?
Yeah, of mine. So it's like I had actually decided to get into a situation of I don't want to have to get ready. I want to be ready. Gotcha.
So now, will we hear this stuff, or is this for the listeners at home? Folks, we are our own worst critics, and Mike has some excellent, magnificent music that I've been privy to be able to listen to, and I'm glad that I could. It's just I'm the only one listening to it. I think me and Miyoshi, Carl and Deshaun, are the only ones that hear it. I call him Dr. Shelf Music. No, he has some phenomenal stuff. So I'm hoping, but no, this is great though that you were able to at least keep working doing. Did you flick me off? Ooh.
No, I did my glasses. They were falling.
This is great that you were still able, because I do think that some of the areas that are shining during this period are people that are doing recording, obviously podcasts, and anything virtual, anything like people that were homebodies before, they're shining now. I know somebody reached out to me, maybe a month into the pandemic. They're like, "How are you? You okay?" Like, I'm fine. I think I've been training for this for like 2 years. Have you learned anything about yourself? I know you said you're a homebody already, but being forced to be a homebody, have you learned anything about yourself during the pandemic?
Something that I've learned about, or something that I've always known, and I think it just instilled, that you can do it. You can just do it on your own, if you just kind of get into that mindset, it's like, I think I'm good. I wouldn't mind somebody being here, but I'm good by myself.
Gotcha.
Because I like my space. You know what I'm saying? I like not being able to have to talk. You know, some days I go without speaking. And then I'm like, wow, I didn't speak since last week or something like that, you know?
Wow.
Because a lot of people text, and text conversations sometimes they drive me crazy, but that's another story. But I'm like, I have gone through some of the worst times of my life, and I have been by myself. Mm-hmm. So I look at it, and I had to sit back and say, you know what? You all right? You good? You good? You know, I pray a lot. I've always prayed a lot. And I just find my center. I just find my center, and I find that peace thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think once you find that peace thing, everything else that's going on out in the world, it'll work itself out. Because I ain't got to put on no cape to go out there fighting nobody. Because I ain't got no cape. How about that?
He's a damn lie. A Batman costume.
Listen, hey. Get in my house. Don't tell me where I got.
So what do you have coming up next?
I'm just gonna keep writing and I'm keep recording, because when it excuse me, when it comes to
Rona, that's not Rona.
Well, if it is, I done gave it to you through the interview.
I would cut this thing off. Everything would log off, shut down.
Too late. You didn't feel that mist? Look, and if I got it, I don't know how I got it. I'm here by myself. But yeah, what's next is I'm just preparing myself for what's next, because we don't know what's next, you know. But just keeping your mind open to the possibilities, you know, of what could be, what might be. What might be, you know, we don't even know what might be. So it's like, just be ready with what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, because I was telling a friend, I said, you know, God pushed pause and put everybody at start.
Everybody.
Everybody. So when he lift this thing, it's gonna be like, go.
And you better be ready, like you said earlier.
For real. And it's like, you know, I think,
get ready now, so you gotta get, you know, prepared.
Yeah, and just to be a little bit more spiritual, I think that, you know, I think he was tired of people not really living in their potential and living in their promise.
Yeah.
You know, we run out and we go get jobs when we're supposed to have careers. You know what I'm saying?
You done said it right there, because I swear that's what I've been doing for about the past 10 years.
Yeah. You take stuff and you sitting up there and you're unhappy doing it, and you're not supposed to be. you know, I hate to hear people say things like, you know, you don't supposed to be happy every day. Yeah, you do.
You can be.
If you kind of recognize what your promise is and you live in it,
yeah,
you allow yourself to be happy every day. You know, now if you choose not to be, that's another story.
Yeah.
You know, and everything that's going on now, I mean, I find joy in all of it because I have peace. You know what I'm saying? And I'm doing what I like to do, what I love to do. I'm recording, I'm writing, you know.
Are you watching the Democratic convention?
No, that won't bring me peace. That will not bring me peace. I already know who I'm voting for, gotcha. And that's it.
There you go.
A lot of people think, oh, that doesn't involve me. Oh, they gonna put in the White House whoever they want to anyway. That's why I ain't voting, and you know, just stupid stuff like that. So,
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, man, it's been more than a pleasure speaking with you. I mean, we talk regularly anyway, so I have.
Wait, we done?
Well, yeah, we done. What you thought you were gonna get a 2-hour episode?
Yeah, part 1, part 2. What the hell?
Yeah,
Listen, look, he's interesting.
You
Stop
sound
playing.
like my sister with this part 1, part 2. I think
Look,
you parted out. Nope.
No, he's interesting. He's excited. Okay?
That's great. So folks, he will come back at some point, but we are going to end this one. No, I just want to thank you, man, for your time and your story, your journey. I know there's more to it, and we don't have it all. And I know there's a lot of stuff that if we unleash, we might be telling FBI secrets. So we had to kind of laugh off a lot of stuff. But
if I keep drinking from this bottle, you'll get them all.
It is always a pleasure, never a chore.
Always a pleasure
to hang out with you, and we're gonna send them to listen to some of your non-shelf music, so to speak. So you guys get a chance to listen to something that maybe somebody has never heard before. Thank you, brother, man. Love you much, man.
Love you too.
Hey, I'd like to thank Upward and Onward for allowing me to be a part of their Meeting at the Crossroads Music Series and being all up in my business. But if you'd like to reach me, my handles are IG and Twitter, the same, MKHMMND, that's Mike Hammond, no vowels, or Facebook is MBHAMMOND. Again, that's MBHAMMOND. Thank you.
Well, on behalf of Upward and Onward Productions, we'd like to thank you for hanging out with us for the show, our Meeting at the Crossroads Music Series. Now, your attention and time is much appreciated, and we look forward to seeing you next time for more performances and music. Remember, success is only an arm's length away. Stay safe, stay home if you can, and if you can't, keep practicing social distance with a healthy and cautious way of life. Upward and onward, folks.